This is Matthew McConaughey.
Natalie Portman.
James Patterson.
Michael Ian Black.
And you are listening to
Five Questions
with Dan
Schawbel.
DJ Envy, welcome to Five Questions.
Hey, thanks for having me.
At the start of your career, you were mentored by DJ Clue. What advice did he give you that helped you break into the music business?
It was not really advice. It was he showed me. I'm a place from Queens, New York, and he introduced me to DJing. And I always tell everybody to this day, if it wasn't for Clue, who knows what I would be doing. And the story is quick. I was waiting on the bus. I seen Clue pull up in a nice car, and at the time it was a 3 Series BMW, which was like the Rolls Royce of today. And I said, "What do you do?" And he said, "Come by my house." And I tell everybody this story. This is the importance of positive influences. If he would have said sold drugs, I might have sold drugs. If he'd have said scammer, I might have been a scammer. If he said anything negative, I might have been. But he opened it up and said, "I'm a DJ." And when I seen the records and the tapes and his success and how much fun he had, he influenced me to being a DJ. So I'm big on that. So he influenced me by showing me the way.
I love that. And of course, that's what you're doing now too. You're probably influencing a lot of other people and showing them a path forward as well, because he did for you what you will do for others.
Absolutely.
And how did you and Angela Yee and Charlamagne Tha God come together to form the Breakfast Club? And why do you think that collaboration has been so effective and successful?
Well, we came together. I was doing afternoons on Power 105. And at the time, the program director, Cadillac Jack from Boston, he said, I want to bring some new energy to mornings. Would you be interested in doing it? And I said, no. I did mornings at Hot 97 before, and I didn't like it. You're scrutinized. It's so much pressure on you. And I kind of like afternoons. I didn't have a boss. I didn't have a co-host. Then he threw some money at me. I said, no. Then he said he'll double my salary. I said, no. Then he said he'll triple my salary. And I said, let me think about this. And I said, well, who would I work with? And he says, well, Charlamagne is somebody that's been sending me these messages and these videos. He might be somebody. And, we have to find a third person. He's like, we really like Angela Yee. And when he told me at first, I said, Charlamagne, no way. He's been fired like 4 or 5 times. And at the time I had 2 kids. So I said, that's not going to work. I don't want to get fired. And Angela Yee was on Sirius Satellite Radio. And I was like, she curses like a sailor. She'll get me fired. So no. He talked me into it, and we just started rocking, and it took on from there. At first, he wanted it to be my show, but I didn't want it to be my show. I wanted it to be something where every member has a part, a percentage. It's part of something together. Because if it's just my show or just Charlamagne's show or just Yee's show, somebody feels some way. But if we all have equal share, we all push the same, and that's how the Breakfast Club was born.
Yeah, I love that. And if there's an imbalance there, that could create jealousy, and that could break up the group much. I mean, we see all sorts of groups breaking up because of that, but because you've equalized it and you all bring something unique to the table, that's why it's formed into something so powerful and great. And you recently, or will be releasing Real Life, Real Love, the new book that you co-authored with your wife, where you openly talk about your 27-year relationship. How did all the obstacles you face bring you closer together instead of ending your relationship?
I think for myself, me and my wife, Gia, we've been together since she was 15 and I was 16 from high school. And we didn't really learn experiences. We're from a place, and I think most people, you never talk about relationships, right? When you go to the barbershop, you don't say, hey, well, how's everything going with your girlfriend? You talk sports, you talk music, you talk politics, but we never talk relationships. We never talk love. So you kind of just got to learn. And sometimes learning habits are bad because we learn from TV. We learn from your favorite celebrity, which is not necessarily right. And I think that's what I did. And you talk about love, and you don't really know the true meaning of love, because if you did, you wouldn't hurt that person. You wouldn't put that person through some of the things that you put them through. So after dealing with all that, like I said, 27 years, we've been through insecurities, infidelity, forgiveness, having children, keeping it spicy, because like I said, it has been 27 years. So we go through all of that. And it's just, I tell everybody, it's just a platform where people who are going in relationships or thinking about getting in relationships, where you can understand from somebody who has done it, but it's not perfect. I'm not saying my relationship or my marriage is perfect, far from it. But you can kind of see the things that I did wrong, So hopefully other men or other women don't go through the same thing. I tell my wife all the time, she should have left me a long time ago when probably when she was 16 and I was 17. But we were able to figure it out, and we were able to talk about things, which made our relationship stronger. Because since we've been through all that, we're in a way better place because we're no longer, I don't want to say being fake because we were never fake, but we're more into each other's feelings, and not in a sensitive way, like a boo-hoo way, but more into, I know what she likes. She knows what I like. She knows how to support me. I know how to support her, but we can do it on a level where it's mutual respect and mutual love. If there's something going wrong or something bad, we can have that conversation as adults and not feel away or your feelings are hurt. So I didn't want to tell you. And it made our relationship 1,000 times better.
Yeah. Mutual understanding, trust, and constant communication. I talk about a lot of things that happen in the workplace, but even in your love life and with friends, communication is key. And becoming
absolutely.
a good communicator, like you were just saying, has been really effective in you sorting things out and just being honest about everything.
Yeah, not only that, when you talk about communication, it's like you said, it has to be honest. You are on podcasts and you're talking to people all day long. Your job is going to be different than your spouse's job, and sometimes you have to understand that. Yes, when I come home, my wife has been with the 5 kids all day. So, there's things that she wants to talk about and get off her chest. And my job is not better than hers, and her job is not better than mine. And you have to have that mutual meeting in the middle.
Yeah. And empathy too, understanding what she's going through, and hopefully she understands what you're going through. And on to that, what have you learned about building a healthy relationship from your wife? And what do you think she's learned from you?
I think with my wife, one thing I learned is patience. My wife has a lot of patience, and I don't realize the amount of patience I have until I have to, let's say she goes away for a couple of days and I have all 6 kids. And I'm like, my wife really has patience because I'm pulling my hair out and I don't have much hair. And you realize that it's patience and understanding, that you really have to listen to people. And sometimes in relationships, you don't listen. Before your spouse is ready to, let's say you're going back and forth on a disagreement. Before they're ready to finish their statement, you're already trying to attack. And that's what it's not about. It's not about attacking. It's not about winning or losing, right? And a lot of times that's what we think it is. You want to win, you want to lose. You want to lose, you want to win. But it's a matter of understanding. It's a relationship. Y'all are married. Your boyfriend or girlfriend. Your boyfriend and boyfriend. Girlfriend or girlfriend. You have to understand each other. Like if you want a relationship to work, it's not win or losing. It's understanding each other. Nobody should ever leave an argument like I won. I feel good. No, it should be leaving an argument as, oh, we understand each other now.
Yeah, it's like you're not on 2 different teams playing each other. You're on the same team.
Absolutely. It took me a long time to get to that because I wanted to win. And that was the problem. And my problem with winning is I'm very competitive. So if it took me lying to win, I would do whatever it takes to win. Me and my wife could be arguing about your shirt, and I would be like, that shirt is red. And she'd be like, no, it's blue. And I'd be like, no, it's red because God told me it was red 10 years ago when I, whatever. But I would make up stories to win that argument. And then it just made things worse.
Yeah. And if you talking to my mom, talking to people who are, 60s, 70s, even 80s, who have been married for decades and decades and decades, the biggest complaint they have about relationships today is people aren't putting enough effort into them, right? It's like everyone's like, what's the, they're just swiping to the next person. That's like the psychology, but it's also a lack of patience too. Everyone wants something immediately.
Absolutely.
And I asked everyone this, but back in 2017, I asked Charlemagne for his best piece of career advice. And he said, live your truth. Honesty is always the best policy. What's your best piece of career advice?
Now, this is our last question, right?
Yep.
So let me quote, not Socrates, not Einstein. Get up off your fucking ass and work. That's Kim Kardashian. I'm just joking. I'm not quoting her. I would actually say, and it's as cliche as it sounds, I would say you have to do the work. Nothing comes easy. And make sure you do the work. Meaning, I went to school. I went to college for not communications. I went for business and marketing. And people say, well, why? You're in communications. I can practice communications. I could practice interviewing. I could practice doing radio, but I wanted to learn the business side of it. I always told myself that I was good and I wanted to be great, and not just all aspects. I tell everybody all the time, I'm a good DJ, right? I'm not the best DJ. I'm not the worst DJ, but what I am is a hard worker, and I outworked everybody else. I was smarter. I was able to market myself from my business marketing classes. I was able to manage myself to make sure that I was in those right spaces, learn how to send emails and to do all the things that most people weren't able to do because I did my homework in each aspect of life that I wanted to get into, whether it was, you know, doing my car shows or writing my book or marketing or management or everything else. I was able to do so much of it because everything, fulfills this one thing of DJing, being a on-air personality and doing all of that. So I studied and I studied outside of what people normally would study. I studied fashion. And just a quick story, when it came to DJing, what made me, I don't want to say better, but what made me catch faster than everybody else is I marketed myself. So you say, well, how did you do that? When every DJ was out there DJing, they played hardcore records. I played R&B for the ladies. Why? Because my club at first was going to be packed with women, and promoters used to be mad. Envy, you have all the women here. There's no guys. There's nobody buying bottles. There's nobody spending money. And what happened? They left that club and came to mine because mine had all the women. And that was my way of marketing. When everybody went to, I'm a market for the people who are spending money. I'm a market for the women because I know women are going to attract everything else. And it worked.
Strategy, a smart business mind. It's called the music business for a reason. And a lot of artists get taken advantage of or don't, achieve their success and dreams because they lack the business acumen or taken advantage of in a capacity, or they don't see an opportunity where you would see that opportunity. And you can't, replace anything with hard work. Like, I was a marketing major as well. And so I realized that those type of skills can apply to everything because they're kind of foundational to business.
Absolutely.
That's great advice. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much. And just tell all your listeners, make sure you go out and get the book. It's one of those things that you need in your life. If you're in a relationship, you have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, this can help you set the tone. Learn from the mistakes that I've done. And hopefully it'll make your relationship stronger.